Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Well, let's take a look at some stocks on the move today. In Europe, I'm Stephen Carroll with Lizzie Burton, and we're joined by Bloomberg's Tiwa Adebayo. Tiwa, let's start then with Rheinmetall. How has the defence firm been affected by the conflict in the Middle East?
Yeah, Stephen, well, we're really capping off a week of positive gains across the defence sector. Others also, like Hensoldt, moving higher as well. And that's on the expectation of further military spending. Really, every day that this conflict continues, we see that expectation grow, and that translates into more orders for these defence names. So names like Rheinmetall moving higher today. And this war also is showing no signs of letting up. And so until we have perhaps more clarity on when the war might end, we're likely to see this continue. But with respect to Rheinmetall specifically, the drone attacks in Iran are sort of underscoring the need for lower cost interceptors. That's according to the latest analysis from Bloomberg Intelligence. So they're seen as a potential beneficiary of this. That's why we're seeing them move a bit higher this morning.
It's interesting. I was speaking to an analyst earlier about why European defence hot stocks haven't moved even higher, and they were saying that the war is good for Russia because of higher oil, and US defence stocks seem to be benefiting even more, so kind of at the expense of European defence names. But we also have to talk to you about airline. We've had Lufthansa reporting earnings this morning. Just talk to us about their situation.
Well, it has been a kind of a difficult situation for airlines over the last few days. There have been numerous concerns about flights being cancelled. We've seen the number of cancelled flights to the Middle East hitting 27,000 today since the fighting began. That's been tricky for firms like Wizz Air, really struggling. But actually, Lufthansa is kind of bucking that trend today for two reasons. So firstly, they did report results today and there were strong numbers. They're predicting a significant improvement in earnings actually this year, but also Lufthansa is kind of looking for the opportunity amidst this wider disruption. They've announced this morning that they are actually considering adding more flights onto routes to Africa and Asia, and that's as demand is really rising. They're trying to scoop up those passenger flows that would otherwise have been served by Middle East carriers. So investors are reacting positively to those bits of news from Lufthansa this morning.
And away from events in the Middle East, you've been looking at some good news for the broadcaster ITV.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise from ITV this morning. One of the biggest winners on the Stock 600. It's been up nearly 8%. It's paired slightly now, but that's their biggest move since November. And this is really off the back of an analyst upgrade, which is citing a sort of dissipating anxiety about weakness in advertising demand. So we saw worries around this towards the end of last year, and that was tied to uncertainty around the UK budget. Those concerns did begin to clear a bit in December, and that's a trend that this analyst is expecting to continue throughout the beginning of this year, and that's paving the way for more growth in the summer, of course tied to the start of the World Cup, which is due to be broadcast in June this year. So investors optimistic about ITV's prospects this morning.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.